driven by the hate of white man, but the love of our people.
In 1966, the Black Panther movement was founded. Prominent among the founders were Bobby Seale, who is its president, and Huey Newton, after Eldridge Cleaver, probably its best-known champion. In recent months, of course, the Newton wing expelled Eldridge Cleaver, who is living in Algeria, so that the Seale-Newton wing is nowadays supreme. Meanwhile, the Black Panthers have turned their backs officially on violence as a means of accomplishing whatever it is they propose to accomplish, concerning which we will in due course be enlightened.
46 years ago, two men came together to create a revolutionary group to change the nation forever. These two men were Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale. They started the Black Panther Party, originally called the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, to protect the black communities from police brutality, racism, and oppression they suffered on a daily basis. The Black Panther Party represented courage, determination, and freedom.
The difference between the approaches of the Black Panther Party compared to that of Martin Luther King was very controversial and took the peaceful approach. Dr. King didn't get much done as far as segregation, but the Black Panther Party took on a violent approach to where their message could be heard. The Black Panther Party was a progressive political organization that stood in the vanguard of the most powerful movement for social change in America since the Revolution of 1776 and the Civil War. The Black Panther Party was also supposed to serve as a voice for the black community.
The Black Panther Party started in order to prevent things like the Watts riots, the murder of Emmett Till, and the Ku Klux Klan. The one reason that the Black Panther Party was organized was because they were tired of not being heard. When the white man can ask for justice, it is given, but when a black man asks, it is put on hold. The Black Panther Party was simply to break that chain, that cycle, to stop the oppression of the people. On October 15, 1966, Bobby Seale and Huey P. Newton write the first draft of the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense 10-point program. This document stated what they wanted for the people and how they wanted it. In December of 1966, 16-year-old Bobby Hutton becomes the first male recruit of the Black Panther Party. The party went about recruiting men and women by visiting colleges and high schools to express to young people how it was important to seize the time and rise above the principle. On January 1967, the first Black Panther Party office opens at 5624 Grove Street, Oakland, California. This is the beginning of the party members patrolling the streets of Oakland to relieve their black community of unjust acts by police. The Black Panther Party wanted to make sure that arrests made like the arrest of Marquette Frey, the cause of the Watts riots, didn't happen, and people like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X couldn't be assassinated without justice being sought out.
In early 1967, Eldridge Cleaver joined the Black Panther Party. Huey wanted Eldridge as a person who could transfer his thoughts and ideas to paper. By this time, the Black Panther Party had spread over most of Northern California, and soon there were more than 100 groups. On May 2, 1967, 30 armed Black Panthers, Bobby Hutton being among them, and their supporters go to the California State Capitol in Sacramento to protest the Mulford Act, a bill aimed at the banning of displayed firearms.
Say it loud! I'm black and I'm proud.
On October 28, 1967, at 4:56 a.m., Oakland officer John Frey is killed and Officer Herbert Haynes are wounded in a pre-dawn altercation after stopping Huey P. Newton and Gene McKinney. Huey P. Newton is also critically wounded. Later on February 17, 1968, a Free Huey rally is held at the Oakland Auditorium on Newton's birthday. More than 5,000 supporters attend, including Stokely Carmichael, H. Rat Brown, James R. Foreman, Ron Dellins, and Peace and Freedom Party representatives on the charge of the murder of John Frey. 3 months later, on July 15th and 16th, more than 6,000 protesters come out in support of Huey P. Newton on the steps of the Alameda County Courthouse in Oakland. The national and international press is present, as well as the National Guard.
On September 8, 1968, Newton's jury deliberates for 4 days. He's acquitted of the assault charge and the kidnap charges are dropped, but he is convicted of voluntary manslaughter. This is the day that J. Edgar Hoover declares the Black Panther Party the greatest threat to internal security of the country. On September 28, 1968, Huey P. Newton is sentenced to 2 to 15 years in state prison and removed from Oakland in less than 5 minutes. 4 hours after the conviction, 2 drunken on-duty police officers commit a drive-by shooting on the Black Panther Party office on Grove Street. In March 1968, Arthur Glenn Moore's brother Bunchy Carter is shot and killed by agents of the U.S. government. He's the first member of the Black Panther Party to be killed. An onset of raids and killings flowed throughout the Black Panther Party organization all over the nation. By March 4, 1968, a memo for the FBI made by J. Edgar Hoover, the head of the FBI, outlines goals to his staff to prevent coalition of the militant black nationalist groups and the murder that rocked the Black Panther Party. On April 16, 1968, an Oakland police shootout results in the murder of Bobby Hutton. Him being only 16 years old, having surrendered and stripped down to show that he was unarmed, he was still shot down. On April 13, 1968, his funeral was held at Ephesians Church of God in Christ on Alcatraz Avenue in Berkeley. More than 2,500 attended the funeral.
Say it loud! I'm black and I'm proud.
In the event that the men were arrested, such as the leaders of several chapters, women were to step up to the plate. Women such as Angela Davis. On August 7, 1970, Angela Davis was charged with the kidnapping and the first-degree murder of Judge Haley. These charges followed the events that took place in the Marin County Hall of Justice courtroom. This changed Angela's life forever. A prison revolt took place in the courtroom, and by day's end, 4 people were left dead. The judge, 2 San Quentin prisoners, and Jonathan Jackson, a 17-year-old. The guns were registered by Angela, and she soon became the 3rd woman in history to appear on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list.
This is when the Black Panther Party slowly meets its downfall from the conviction of Huey P. Newton. Party offices were raided, members were killed and arrested, and party offices were bombed. The leadership in the party was non-existent, and the Black Panthers had no funds. On August 22, 1989, Huey P. Newton is gunned down by 24-year-old BGF Black Guerrilla Family member Tyrone Robinson. Newton was fatally shot on the 1400 block of 9th Street in West Oakland. Robinson was convicted in August 1991 and sentenced to 32 years in prison for the crime. The police found evidence that Newton was armed. He was buried in Evergreen Cemetery in Oakland.
Even after the death of Huey P. Newton, they pick up and start focusing more on the community. In January 1989, the Panthers started the Free Breakfast for Children program and other programs such as Bobby Hunt Free Health Clinic, Free Clothing Program, and Child Development Center. These programs were organized so that when time came for the younger generation to become the leaders of the Black Panther Party and this country, they would be ready.
The influence of the Black Panther Party soon reached all over the world. In the Olympics of 1968 in Mexico City, when Tommy Smith took the gold in the 200-meter final by setting a new world record, John Carlos took bronze. Both men decided to make a protest. While the Star-Spangled Banner played during the medal ceremony, Smith raised his right black-gloved fist to represent black power, while Carlos's raised left fist represented black unity. Both of these athletes were stripped of their medals and suspended from Team USA.
Say it loud! I'm black and I'm proud.
We were really excited and thrilled and kind of not really expecting much from these guys.
There were more than 200 of us watching the actual event. We knew something was going to happen.
The Star-Spangled Banner, when they did what they did, was absolute eternity.
But see, I did not throw a rock and hide my hand. What I did is held my hand up in a cry for freedom.
There were many protests. Protests against the Vietnam War that the Black Panther Party also disliked. They didn't like the fact that having their fellow brothers fight a war unwillingly for a country that couldn't and wouldn't treat them as equals. It is also known worldwide that another man that stood against this was Muhammad Ali. Another man who showed protest was a white Frenchman named Jean Genet. He would travel the country and speak out on behalf of the Black Panther Party at colleges to win over the white students. When Jean Genet had been to all the colleges, he moved on to the rest of the world to voice his opinion. The Black Panther Party was a group who fought for their rights and their people. They had an any means necessary attitude. If they were going to die protecting their beliefs, they willingly would, and many did. The Black Panther Party was certainly an organization that shaped the world to be the way it is today. Its radical past has certainly shaped our lives. The party will forever hold its place in African American history. And as said by the famous Stokely Carmichael, we say,
We are revolutionaries.